Orbiting the neutral moon of the Prime, the Galactic Military Academy shimmered against the void, a gleaming promise of elite warfare that, in reality, functioned more like a cosmic daycare for the galaxy's most inflated egos. It is a universal truth, one echoed across star systems and human history alike. Arrogance is often the loudest form of ignorance. Professor Velkov, a four-armed mantis-like instructor whose eyes could detect deception across a light year, clicked his mandibles in exhaustion. He had spent 70 cycles teaching Tactical Strategy 301, yet this year's crop was particularly insufferable. There was Krath, a 7-foot saurian brute from Decker 4, scales glistening with unearned pride. Zelix, a Sith whose insectoid mind processed tactics like a supercomputer devoid of soul. And Farah, a crystalline lumina who pulsed with emotional smugness. And then, sitting in the center row, was Maya Torres. To the alien eye, she was nothing, a small, soft biped from a world barely 2 decades into galactic contact. Earth was classified as a Class 12 death world, a bureaucratic designation the others dismissed as diplomatic hyperbole. They saw only her weak bone density and lack of natural armor. "Look at her," Krath rumbled, his voice a subsonic sneer. "Sitting like she's waiting for a shuttle, not a war." The mockery was a slow tide, rising daily. It peaked during a tactical review when Velkov questioned the class on a siege scenario. Maya's answer was quiet and lethal. Abandon the fortress, collapse the pass, and wait 3 weeks to mop up the starving remnants. The room erupted in laughter. Krath slammed his desk, mocking the human cowardice of waiting. Maya's jaw tightened, her voice dropping to a register that vibrated with suppressed danger. "We survived by becoming the predators everything else ran from. You might want to remember that." The tension snapped during sparring. Krath, outweighing her by 200 pounds, toyed with her, demanding she show him her death world reflexes. Maya evaded with bored precision, finally stopping to deliver a singular warning. "Back off. That's one. Humans don't usually give two." When Krath charged again, she merely blocked him, sending him skidding, and walked away. But the real lesson began 3 days later. Velkov announced the Survival Crucible, a 72-hour nightmare simulation in a hostile, randomized environment. As the class placed bets on how quickly the fragile human would break, Maya paused at the door. The air shifted, growing heavy with the gravity of her words. She explained that a Class 12 world didn't just have one threat, it had everything. Weather, bacteria, gravity, predators. "We climbed to the top of the food chain on a planet trying to erase us," she said, her eyes cold. "So, stay out of my way. Don't ask for help." The simulation dropped them into a hellscape of jungle humidity and adaptive drones, a nightmare for the aliens. But for Maya, it was just a camping trip. Krath fell first. Loud and clumsy, unable to regulate his body heat, he was tagged by a drone within minutes, left twitching in the mud. Zelix, blinded by moisture on her compound eyes, couldn't calculate the chaos of nature. And Farah? She found Maya at an objective point and tried to intimidate her. Maya simply unscrewed her canteen. "You know what disrupts crystalline harmonics?" she asked softly. Cold water on a heated surface. Farah's scream as the thermal shock fractured her matrix was the sound of hubris shattering. For 72 hours, Velkov watched the monitors. He saw Krath cowering in a cave, Zelix paralyzed by indecision, and Maya moving like a ghost, completing every objective with ruthless efficiency. When Zelix cried out over the comms that Maya's movements followed no logic, Maya's voice cut in, We run on spite and stubbornness. See you at extraction. The debriefing hall was a mausoleum of silence. The aliens stood battered, muddy, and humbled. Maya stood pristine, having achieved a perfect score. Velkov let the silence stretch before delivering the final verdict. He pulled up a holographic projection of Earth, a swirling blue marble of chaos. Class 12 worlds don't breed survivors, he lectured, his voice grim. They breed apex predators who learn to cooperate to survive impossible odds. Cadet Torres warned you. That is a human courtesy. On Earth, most predators don't warn at all. Broken and bruised, the bullies offered their apologies. Maya accepted them with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. The smile of a creature that knows it can kill, but chooses not to. "We're good," she said, hoisting her gear. "Just don't make me repeat myself." As she turned to leave, she cast a glance back at the Saurian. "Oh, and Krath? You owe me 20 credits." Laughter broke the tension, but the lesson was seared into them. The galaxy had learned what Velkov already knew. Humanity had arrived, and the most terrifying thing about them wasn't their capacity for violence, but their ability to deliver it with a smile.